It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer, and today we're reviewing a blonde from France. Let me say that again, a little bit slower. I got a bit tongue-tied there, didn't I? A blonde from France. Today's beer is Loup Blond by Brasseurs De Lorraine. It's a 5% ABV beer in a 330 milliliter bottle. It's a dark brown bottle here with a silvery gold bottle cap. There's a bit of English on the back. Water, barley malt, hop and yeast. Hop and yeast, so maybe there's just one hop in the beer. I do like a blonde. I'm in a funny mood today, ignore me. I prefer gingers actually. I prefer a good ginger beer. Ooh. Oh. Kicking the tripod as we save every last drop of the beer. So that one was a little bit kind of lively on the opening. Some of these beers are. I tend to kind of put it down to sort of craft breweries. When you buy a beer from a craft brewery, it's always going to be slightly unpredictable. Some of these breweries are still hand bottling. I visited a brewery earlier on this year that was still hand bottling. That means they're like hand bottling their beer with a it's got this kind of big lever on it that sort of crimps the bottle cap in place, which is, it's amazing really that, you know, some breweries still do that, but it is what it is. So it's a proper hands-on process, so I don't mind. There was no skin off my nose there, was it? I mean, I nearly fell over, but there might have been. But there's no skin off my nose. When a beer opens up and it's a little bit lively, and you know, especially if you can save it like we did. There's a small one finger white head. A hazy blonde, little bit of kind of a sort of a small sort of mahogany colour to it. Is there any yeast, any sediment in the bottom of the glass? No, but this beer is available from draftproducts.com. Check them out. Have a look at the description box of the video. There'll be a link, draftproducts.com. They send us a fantastic beer machine. They send us some fantastic bottles here. I have moved the beer machine. Some people notice. I moved the beer machine because my wife was saying I have too many beer machines on. I had 4 at one point, and she was like, "You're taking over my kitchen with all your beer machines. Put some away." So I've had to put a couple away. I will reuse it when I buy a keg, and it will come back out on the bar. And perhaps then I'll stick the Blade beer in a cupboard somewhere. That never seems to get used anymore. The Blade beer. It's not a thing anymore, is it really? They never bring any kegs out. But anyway, back to this blonde. Let's get the aroma. Yeah, smells good. Good aroma. That sort of typical, slightly sweet, a little bit zesty, a little bit of sort of a touch of lemon. And then you almost get a sense of the bitterness on the back end of this beer too. Orange marmalade, that's what I'm picking up a little bit. Orange marmalade, spicy orange marmalade. Marmalade on rye, that's what I should be saying. Let's dive in. Cheers everybody. Wow, that's really carbonated. Really carbonated. Ooh. Ooh. A really lovely finish on the back end. Really sort of lovely. It's still rolling now. The flavour's still rolling on the back of the palate. Sort of. It's almost got this feeling of German sort of Czech sort of Saaz hops coming through. A good strong stinging nettle finish to this beer, which is very nice. I like that. But it kind of come from nowhere. It really kind of like charged up and caught me by surprise on the second half of the beer, because the first half of the beer, the first taste was, there was a little bit of sweetness in there. And I find that with French beer. Draftproducts.com, they're a company that they travel back and forth to France quite a lot. So I get sent quite a lot of French beer. And the one thing oh, it's the door.
Someone is at the front door.
Another beer parcel. I think I had an email yesterday from Glen Affric. I think that beer parcel is from Glen Affric Brewery, based in Liverpool. Yeah, so I haven't had a beer from Glen Affric for a long time. So I'll get that open later on. Back to this wonderful blonde ale. What was I talking about? Yes, let me take another sip. I tell you what I pick up from French beer, because I've been drinking a lot of French beer this past 2025, is that it sort of leans into a bit of sweetness. It's not overly sweet, but it definitely leans into being a bit more sort of sweeter, malty beers that are, some can be sweeter than others, and then they sort of balance off. So like this one here is balancing off lovely with the hops. That sort of hop finish is really balancing it off really well. But yeah, that's my take on French beer from 2025, is that they do seem to be a little bit sweet and a little bit malty. But that's the love of beer, isn't it? I mean, you go to the Czech Republic, they insist on serving a beer with 2 or 3 finger heads, you know, to protect the beer. You go to Germany, it's slightly different. They like their bitter pilsners and all sorts of different beers, of course, in Germany. But Belgium, sort of Trappist beers. What I love from beers from different countries is that we all look at the English, British real ales. We all have our own identity. We all have our own identity in beer, and that's really important. So I think the French's identity, of course, French stubby bottled lager. I mean, we all know that, don't we? Which is fantastic. But I think the identity of French ale is, and please quote me if I'm wrong. Please tell me in the comments if I'm wrong. But French ale seems to be a little bit sweet. It's really good. Really good. Nicely carbonated. Really good look to the beer. I like it. Is there anything to read? Les Brasseurs De Lorraine, everything else is in French. 3 out of 5 malt and 2 out of 5 hop. So there's that sense. That's what I was talking about earlier on, that sort of leaning into sweetness. It's definitely more sweet than hoppy. But it's good. Yeah, it's won a gold medal at the World Beer Awards for France. I like that enough to give it an 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Please put your comments in the comments box, subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews, give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom, cheers.